security threat and security attacks. What are some of the security threats and security attacks? Okay, so a potential security breach that puts individuals in danger is a threat. So we are trying to define what a threat is, which I'm saying a potential security breach that puts individuals in danger, okay, is the one that is considered to be a threat. A system that is left unsecured has a vulnerability, making it susceptible to threats. So if your computer, your phone is not secured enough, okay, you find that someone is able to access your information. For instance, you don't put the password on your Facebook account. Anyone might be able to access your Facebook account. Okay, that's why mostly they'll put a password on the Facebook. Then when it comes to the phone, I'm sure almost everyone has a password on the phone. It depends with the password that is there. It depends on the pattern which is there, or that we are trying to put security to the computers. So security threats can come from human error, natural calamities, software faults, or nefarious deeds carried out by hackers. So bear in mind that we have hackers, those who can hack your online account, either Facebook, Instagram, okay, and even those who can log into your computer without your permission. We also have cybercriminals or other threat actors. Security attacks are hostile attempts to circumvent security safeguards, to steal information, disrupt normal system operation, or obtain unauthorized access to sensitive data. Okay, what has come common now, more especially on Facebook, there are people who try to send something which is not, you wouldn't like it, but they will send to you. Immediately you open that, then they have access to your Facebook account. So you should be very, very careful to those hackers. Security attacks, okay, measures such as firewalls, intrusion detection systems, and antivirus software are the ones which are necessary to identify and stop security attacks. So we are trying to identify measures that we can put in place to avoid these security attacks. So I've mentioned of the firewalls, intrusion detection systems, as well as antiviruses software. Okay, so to start with, we have the malicious software. Malicious software. Because all what we are trying to avoid here is want our information to be secured, not to be taken to someone. So examples of malicious, or rather, starting by definition of malicious software, this is intentionally included in a system with the intention to harm it. So bear in mind that the viruses are being made by a human being. Mostly that is just for business. Okay, so someone might put a virus in your computer, either from the internet or physically put in the computer. So all that is just trying to harm your computer. So examples of malicious programs includes the viruses, Trojan horses, and worms. So a virus is simply a software program that attaches itself to other health programs, replicates itself, and spreads across a network. Okay, this can be related to HIV, okay, which is the human virus, just the same way to attach itself to human body, human antibodies, so that it weakens the antibody and you get sick. So similarly to these computer viruses, they will attach themselves to files on the computer so that they weaken your computer and eventually your computer stops working. So viruses harm the computer in several ways. Okay, one, by corrupting or deleting data. So there are some points whereby you are not able to access the information on the computer. Remember in the previous session, we said the information on the computer, more especially on the secondary memory, is permanently stored there unless you delete that information. Now, here you find your information is deleted. It's nowhere to be seen. What happens to that? Okay, so meaning the viruses were in that folder and eaten up all the information. Apart from that, they also changed the functionality of a software applications. So you find that you have a WhatsApp on your computer, yet that WhatsApp stops working. What happens to that? Meaning the viruses affected that software and made it to stop working. A worm. This is a self-replicating piece of software that spreads through network and security flows using up computer resources and slowing it down. So it's not everything that you access on internet. Okay? Bear in mind that there are worms attached to the files on the internet. So you find that immediately you have access to the information which has got worms, then those worms will go direct into your computer through the registers. Okay? Yet they will start replicating themselves and eat up all the information. Then a Trojan horse. This is a harmful program that possesses as a helpful one. Okay, so it will come as a very nice app. Meanwhile, it's harmful to your computer. Okay, so once you download it, then it starts tampering with data or other harm files. Remember, the idea behind is eating up all the information on your computer. We also have hacking. So hacking is defined to be the practice of breaking into someone else's network or computer, and it may involve a DOS attack that blocks authorized users from using computer resources. Okay, so for instance, you leave your computer open, you don't put the password. Okay, then someone comes without your permission, enters into your computer and start accessing all the information. That is hacking. Someone enters into your Facebook account and start posting items there, start chatting with people without your permission. That is hacking. And this is what is happening today. Worms are therefore softwares that reproduce themselves by exploiting network and security vulnerabilities. These programs search for other computers with the same vulnerabilities and replicate themselves there. So unlike viruses, worms do not modify programs but can slow down the computer performance by using up resources. So be able to differentiate these malicious softwares, the worms, viruses, and Trojan horse. Trojan horses. Okay, these are malicious programs that masquerade as useful ones. So as you're on the internet, then you try to download this software which you don't have any knowledge on. Meaning, it comes nicely and attractive for you to download it. Meanwhile, it's just there to harm your computer. They are named after the Greek soldiers who hid inside a wooden horse to enter the seat of Troy undetected. So the name Trojan horse was taken from the Greek soldiers. Similarly, users unknowingly download Trojan horses, believing they are harmless, but these programs can tamper with data, corrupt files, and even destroy the software. This type of malware can cause serious damage to a computer system. Mostly, which is affected is the operating system. Remember we said the heart of the computer is the operating system software. So it's the one that is at risk. Okay, so we look at hacking. Unauthorized entry into another person's computer or network is referred to as hacking. So when you enter in someone's computer, okay, either on Facebook or just in the computer, that is hacking. Now, someone or rather a person who engages in this activity is called a hacker. So if you try entering in someone's computer without permission, then you are referred to be a hacker. Okay, so a common tactic employed during hacking is the denial of service. So here, if your computer is not locked, then someone wants to enter into the computer. So what happens? You find that this person who is to get into that computer. But if your computer is locked, okay, then someone is trying to enter into it, is trying to open it. What happens? You find that as that person is entering the password, which is long, what happens? The computer will not allow him to log in. That's why you find that after logging for 5 times, then maybe your computer will be locked. Why? Because the person is trying to log in into the computer without the owner's permission. So this type of attack is intended to prevent authorized users from accessing the computer's resources. So it achieves this by targeting the computer and its network connections, effectively blocking the intended users from accessing emails, websites, online accounts, and other services that rely on the infected machine. What are some of the security services that are put in place, okay, which prevent people from being hacked or being affected by the malicious softwares? So the security services provide some level of protection for system resources, data and messages that are confidentiality, integrity, authentication, and non-repudiation are stored and transmitted using security services. Okay, so what are the services put in place? So when we use an example for Zicta, okay, the people who are employed there are considered to be those people with high integrity, okay, meaning they can't retrieve someone's information, they can't leak someone's information. So this assures that the information received hasn't been changed in any way before reaching the intended recipient. Okay, so they will make sure that the information received, okay, in that cable line is not changed. So this includes being copied, rearranged, added to, or taken away. Data receipt guarantees that what was actually sent is what is sent. There is also a level of confidentiality. Okay, those people at Zicta, they are considered to have a high level of confidentiality. They can't leak in someone's information. So confidentiality aspect requires that information is only accessible to authorized users, which involves protecting data from unauthorized disclosure or theft. Authentication. Before disclosing any information to the user, the authentication procedure verifies and confirms the user's identity. Authentication gives users and related entities trust in their identities. Here is a good example. For instance, you have a girlfriend or a wife. Okay, then you want to track on what your wife has been sharing with others, and you go to Zicta. Even if you convince them, they can't give you the information. Okay, so that is under authentication. Then there is also access control. Okay, someone's information is considered to be private. The prevention of illegal use of a resource is known as access control. This outlines the users who can access the resource as well as what those users are authorized to do once access is granted. What are some of the security measures put in place? Security measures put in place. So make sure you differentiate the two. We are talking about security services and now security measures. So security mechanisms addresses security attack prevention, detection, and recovery. Preventive measures include safeguards against harm to the computer. So we have the following measures. 1. Intrusion detection systems. Intrusion detection systems. To determine whether internal assets are being compromised or exploited, intrusion detection systems work in conjunction with firewalls. A network-based intrusion detection system watches for malicious behavior in real-time network traffic and delivers alarms when it detects particular attack patterns or signatures. We also have virus protection software. Virus protection softwares. Both computers and network servers could have them installed. So we have antiviruses, okay? Because we said viruses also attacks our computers, where most they'll affect the files and eat up all the files. So there must be antiviruses. To stop viruses from infecting the system, they filter every software entering your computer or network system, which includes files, attachments, applications, etc. We also have data and information backups. Data and information backups. So it is necessary for business continuity and disaster recovery. Backups must be made at least weekly and should be retained for at least 30 days while the stockpile is rotated. Security awareness. Okay, we should be aware of the following. So by raising awareness of the need of protecting system resources, security awareness aims to improve the security of the organization's resources. The integrity, confidentiality, and availability of IT systems and networks are crucially protected by staff personnel. So, when those who use the resources, becomes aware of the need to secure them, then resource security can be ensured. Staff members that are security cautious are aware of the procedures that must be followed to ensure security as well as the potential repercussions of not following those procedures. Regular training sessions are also held at organizations to make users and staff members aware of the security procedures to be followed. Regular security awareness, training sessions, videos, newsletters, posters, and flyers are some methods used to spread awareness. Okay, so this marks the end of Unit 8, where we're able to talk about security, which is very important, more especially to the computers, as well as the online platform, both Facebook, Instagram, and other platforms. So make sure you are safe from the security attacks, which includes viruses, Trojan horses, and worms. By doing so, we'll be safe to all the preventions. See you next to the unit 9.